I don't care. Y'all gonna be like, got the same shirt on in every video. Duh. Once you get a book a room for an hour, startup life. Treat it like a startup, budget it. You know the vibes. Two, presenting are these. I haven't came up with a name for them, but they're more so like my farewell to Chicago, right? Up, born and raised in Chicago. Beautiful, beautiful city. I feel like the part I came from was like a third world country. I grew up on the east side of Chicago, the east side, South Shore neighborhood. First neighborhood I grew up on was on the south side on Blackstone. Then I moved on like 76 and Exchange. And yeah, man, that's where I come from. Fast forward that, me and my mom got accepted in public housing. I paid the security deposit when I was 16. We moved up north, right across from Cabrini Green, when they was gentrifying everything. The third real part comes from just living in that South Shore area, the war zone, just living in fear every day, not knowing if you're gonna make it or not. And so you come across a lot of individuals, different type of individuals, and you wonder, am I gonna die at 16? Am I gonna die at 21? Will I make it to see these years? Just growing up in Chicago, I remember like, yeah, every inner city kid, most inner city kids have seen bullets flying and stuff like that, right? And you either get swept up in it or consumed by it, or you don't. And I was one of those kids who was infatuated with what was going on in the streets. So a lot of people around me was calling the city Chirac, and at the time I was. So you'll hear a lot of people saying Iraq. But I didn't want to step into the world calling it the rack because it's more than that. So I went with just putting Chicago on the back heel tab, as you can see, because that's the city. That's the city where dreams are made of, geniuses are born, and man, you can do so much in that city without even knowing it if you don't get swept up in it. So I want to start off this shoe with just explaining the colorway, right? The colorway, I chose to go with the Chicago Bears theme. You don't see too many colorways on the Bears, right? Nope. You just don't. That's just not something you see. You don't see people like, yo, let's go snatch up that Bears theme colorway. Everybody go and do Chicago Bulls. Or they'll go like split the city up with like the White Sox or fucking Cubs, right? Colorway on top of it being different, just because when you're riding on Lakeshore Drive and you go past Soldier Field, that represents a whole different part of Chicago, right? So for me, I'm coming from the east side, and it's like this darkness, this madness, and like I damn near lost my mind. But when you hit that Lakeshore Drive and you get past Soldier Field and it's right there, it's like millennial. It's you're getting past the water tower, you're getting past Michigan Avenue, you're getting past all of these buildings, these skyscrapers, these restaurants, you're getting past all of these things, these shops that is invested into that look way different from like the neighborhood I just came from. Way different from what my cousin who been standing in the same building as me never even seen. It's fucked up, right? Excuse my language. So I struggled when I first moved to Phoenix, Arizona because I just didn't understand how to represent Chicago as a young black man. Was it aggressive? Was it ratchet? I don't even fuck with the word ratchet, but this is real dilemma. And it was none of that. It was who God called me to be. And God called me to be Jalen DeMonte McClellan. Just gave y'all my whole government. Something vulnerable with you all on like the insoles of the shoe. And the insoles of the shoe is very important to me because I grew up around a lot of death. I've been to more funerals in my life than I've been to weddings. And people at college get married so fucking quick, it's scary. I wrote rest in peace to a few fallen loved ones, a few fallen people, individuals I've met along the way on my journey that I've met in Chicago, right? It's not about my people I met outside of Chicago, just about like in the Chicago when I was going through my madness. And as I was writing the list, I realized that there's still more people that was like forgot about, honestly. And so the list was just long, and every day I'm just adding a new name to the list. And I got to a point where it's like, yo, just, all these names not gonna fit. And so all of the names not on the shoe, but I just want to start off with saying rest in peace to everyone I forgot and every name I'm going to say. Rest in peace, Mama Riola. Rest in peace, Daddy John. Rest in peace, Sko. Rest in peace, Brian. Rest in peace, Nani. Rest in peace, my granddad. Rest in peace, Matthew. Rest in peace, Uncle Smoke. It's my Uncle Henry. Rest in peace, Grandma Cooley. Rest in peace, MK, Michaela. Rest in peace, Kathy. Rest in peace, Auntie Janice. Rest in peace, Aunt Verna. Rest in peace, Damon. Rest in peace, Aunt Diane. Rest in peace, Noble. Rest in peace, Auntie Sandra. Rest in peace, Wuda. Rest in peace, Uncle Boo. Rest in peace, VA. Rest in peace, Zarya. And rest in peace, Goop. And, you know, still get those calls about like such and such passed away, such and such locked up. And it angers me at times, makes me sad. But I put these individuals in this shoe because whatever room I walk into, I feel like they're walking with me. In some type of shape or form, I can tell you a story about who impacted me or what I did with that individual at a once upon a time. Like, before my Uncle Smoke, my Uncle Henry passed away, he was telling me to leave Chicago. And he was like, J-Rock, what you gonna do? I was like, what you mean? I'm Chicago forever. I ain't going nowhere. And he was like, no, don't be no L7, don't be no square. Get the fuck out of Chicago. It ain't shit here for you. And for him to tell me that, and then like a year or two later, that man passed away in a car accident, it fucked me up bad. Cooley, that's why these insoles are so important to me in this shoe. It's like one of my favorite parts. Fuck the colorway. It's just about honoring those who passed away. Honoring those who life got cut too short. People died on this shoe from cancer, gun violence, car accidents, ALS. Now, we get to the back heel tab of this shoe, and I know like in the inner city of Chicago, don't nobody really call like neighborhoods like the politically correct term of the neighborhood. Nah, but I did this time. Cause I don't got time for that inner city politics shit. I'm trying to go far for real. So I was just mentioning like neighborhoods like Roseland, Chatham, Uptown, South Shore, Inglewood, Lawndale, Hyde Park, South Chicago, Humboldt Park, West Pullman, Wicker Park, Morgan Park. I even put downtown, Auburn Gresham, Ashburn, Garfield Park. That I forgot about, I feel like. Not even forgot about in the sense of like, damn, don't nobody know them neighborhoods? No. It is like fucking brilliant individuals. It is family that is struggling day to day trying to make ends meet in these neighborhoods and worried about their sons and kids out there surviving those streets. Making sure that they praying hard every night that such and such make it home back safe. This is one of those ones when it comes to shoes for me, right? And this is the journey of like how I have a cousin that says sneakers saved his life. And I don't know if sneakers saved my life, but I know for a fact that sneakers are important to me, and designing and customizing and the shit that I'm doing is important to me.